Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here at my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. This video, we are talking Love and Marriage DC. This is season 1, episode 9, The Winter Swindler. Before we get into it, let's please comment, subscribe, share, and click that thumbs up button, y'all. Okay, it doesn't cost you nothing to do it over here. I know I'm late with this video, but I was out of town and now I'm back, so definitely catching up. I did get fully caught up on College Hill before I left and while I was on vacation, so shout out to my girl Allie who helped me with that last College Hill video. Hopefully y'all are watching all the videos. If you missed anything, you know, go ahead and catch up. Let's do it. Hit that thumbs up. Nah, let me quit playing. So all right, so this episode, like I says, Love Marriage DC. We know we didn't get Love Marriage Huntsville, so we're just gonna get through DC. All right, so the episode opens up with the couples are leaving to go on the trip to Monique and Chris's like getaway vacation house on the outskirts of DC, wherever it's at, in the woods or wherever. It's snowing bad in DC as they're leaving. Looks like they're leaving on like a little party bus sprinter van. They got a pole in there. They had their drinks ready. They ready to go. I was like, oh, miss me with that snow in DC, y'all. Anyway, but I was still want to go to DC, just not until winter time. Okay. So as they're on the bus traveling, they're talking about winter. Oh, Tasha and her husband, I think his name is Neil, they're on the bus. And so Monique is letting them know that Winter may or may not be there. Winter gonna be there, as we saw from the previews, right? It wasn't a question, but okay, Monique. And Chris says Kevin's supposed to come, and the guys are saying how they met up with Chris for lunch, and Chris said, you know, I invited Kevin for lunch, and Jamie and DJ Quick, they do believe Kevin. Jamie said he came with all his facts and his binders and his paperwork, so he has to be telling the truth. Monique is not buying it. DJ Quick is like, you know, he's with the guys, so he's believing Kevin. Neil said he gonna need a drink. He don't drink, but he gonna need a drink for this. Everyone's talking about Winter, and everyone's like, we're just gonna see what happens. Jamie, he's kind of over it. He doesn't know why they still keep talking about it. He's kind of done the conversation. In this whole episode, Jamie was just kind of really seemed reserved and like he was kind of done with the foolishness. Anyway, so they get to the house, right? And Monique has gifts for all of them, little like goodie bags. So they're pulling everything out, and Monique lets them know she came up with gifts to represent all of the names and things that's been going on for the last few weeks. I was like, okay, way to throw Winter shade and the hot mess into some gifts. Okay, Monique, way to capitalize. So she has some fun size Snickers in there for DJ Fun Size, aka DJ Quick. Snickers is my favorite candy, by the way, so I wanted one of those Snickers. And then she also has some little red light for Jamie, you know, being at falling asleep at the red light. Jamie said, you know, he thought it was put to bed, but Monique, you know, was being funny. He was cool with it. And so then she had a gag thing since Chris was hushing her at the table, so she had the gag ball in her mouth. So the producers asked Chris, like, you know, did you like when you turned on by seeing Monique like that? And then he was like, no, we're not really into that in our bedroom. We do other stuff. And Monique was like, no, he'd rather see me with my mouth open. Like, he's like, yeah, I'd rather her have her mouth open. And we could just all imagine what they meant by that. All right. So anyway, the couples all sit down. The women are sitting together. The men are sitting separate, of course. The women are talking about asking Irena when she becomes a grandma, what she wants to be called. She said a grandma. I'm like, one of her kids having a baby? I'm like, Jason just went to the door, so I don't think he having a baby unless Brittany or Lil Jamie maybe Brittany's had a baby or Lil Jamie got somebody pregnant. I don't know, but I don't know if they just were on the topic or what was going on with that, or we're gonna find out later. Anyway, then the doorbell rings. And so then Chris is like, Monique, instead of him getting up to get it, Monique, she's like, I'm coming. So she goes to the door. Winter's there, and the sex therapist Jennifer is there. Okay, so Monique's looking at Winter like, girl, something different. She's like, oh, what is it? Looks good. Like, obviously her head is full, Monique. It was obvious, girl. Anyway, Winter looks amazing with a full head of hair. Like, girl, don't shave your head again. You know, it was just the wrong angle. It was too much. It's just not a look for you, Winter. You look way better with all your hair, girl. Don't do that again. Anyway, though, just your head shape, it just wasn't working for us. So she got there with the sex therapist. It looked like Winter came with luggage. So like she was spending the night to me, but I don't know. I'm like, they're not gonna go all that way and not stay in the house. Like, let's keep it real. But you know, it made good TV. So Winter goes around, she's introducing Jennifer to everybody, like, here's the ladies, here's Tasha, here's so. Elaine and Ashley look like they're not here for it at all. So the couple's sex therapy session begins. All the couples sit down in the living room. Winter is there, like, off to the side, just kind of observing and whatever. So first they started with Ashley and Quick. So the sex therapist said, you know, we're gonna get to know you guys. We're gonna, you know, go through each individual couple, see what's working, see what's not working, what do you want to improve in your sex life, get to know you guys get to know me, whatever. So then DJ Quick and Ashley went first. DJ Quick says, well, Ashley says she feels like their sex life is good, but she wants something different. She wants something more. She wanted that ombre sex toy they had on the table because the sex therapist had a bunch of different sex toys on the table. So she has this like ombre like glass sex toy. She had the vibrating thing where you just, you know, woman can stick in their panties and the guy can show the buttons. I think that would be kind of fun, y'all. She has some other stuff too. So anyway, so then, like I said, Ashley said that she be wanting more. Like she wants to kind of spice it up. She wants to try new things in the bedroom. And then the sex therapist is like, well, what about your partner here? And he's like, first of all, I'm not a partner, I'm her husband. I said, I know that's right, DJ Quick, with the partner stuff. I know people like to say that, but I prefer, you know, that's my man, that's my husband, that's my boyfriend, whatever. So anyway, then he said, you know, he feels like he could go for hours and hours. He'd be putting in the work, but Ashley just wants more and more. It'd be 5 hours later. You know, he'd be flipping it over, smacking it, rubbing it down, doing the most, spitting. He'd be doing it all. He said he's going to go graphic with it. He'd be doing it all, and it's just like it's not enough, and he works a lot, and he don't have the stamina. He'd be tired. And so Ashley was like, yeah, because he got the gout. He old. And so then the sex therapist was like, okay, well, Ashley, you must be in your 40s. So she was like, bitch, please. And she's like, it's because I didn't dye these grades. And I was like, Ashley, you tried it. How old is Ashley? I got to look her age up. I think she is just like a few years older than me, or in her late 30s or whatever. So anyway, Ashley was not having that, though. She was not having that. So anyway, she just, you know, she wants more. And so DJ Quick's like, he don't need no, you know, nothing to keep it up, no Viagra, no stamina. He just, you know, got to figure it out. So anyway, then we get to Neil and Tasha says their sex life is going downhill because he hasn't gotten a vasectomy and she does not want to have any more kids. So she's really nervous. They've even had to go on to using condoms, and then he was like, oh, ain't nothing you can do for that, huh? She's like, I got condoms right here, as the sex therapist said. So I'm just like, well, why doesn't Tasha get her tubes tied or something then? I don't know. And then why doesn't Neil just get the vasectomy? Like, I'd be curious to know more about what's going on with that. Like, why isn't he getting the vasectomy done? Then Ashley was like, them over there, point to the Tylers, they could really use your advice. So then you know, Jamie and Renee explain how they've been together, you know, 30 years now, married 26 years. They've been around each other so long. Their sex life has been kind of lackluster since the last 10 years. Irena feels like he used to have more romance, but now they have lazy sex. Just, he kind of taps her on the side, tells her, come on, come here, and then it's over. She wants more romance. Jamie said he offers her oral. She feels like it's nasty. She doesn't want to do it. And so the sex therapist asked, well, what could he do, like, to get you more ready in the mood, like, what through the day? And she was like, well, he could be more romance. I want more intimacy, you know, more love, more passion. And so she even talks about it in the confessional with Jamie. He just says, okay, hopefully he'll do it. And listen, I don't know. Jamie doesn't give me romance because he's just so tough, but hopefully he can bring that side out of him. And he used to do it. So, you know, like the sex therapist said, maybe got to figure out what it is now because he did know to do it 10 years ago. So anyway, then we get to Monique and Chris. And Monique just feels like the intimacy and the love and the passion and the spiritual connection. I'm so tired of Monique saying she wants spiritual connection with Chris. I'm so tired of y'all. So anyway, she feels like all that is missing. Chris goes on to explain this long explanation about how he was 4 years old and they have family up in New York and they would go to New York and somebody in the family put on a porn video. So that's all he knew. That's where he first got exposed to sex. That's what he thought you're supposed to do. Just the bang, 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 do a few things. And that was sex. And that's where he got it from. And DJ Quick was like, well, yeah, we all started with the naughty books and stuff. And I'm just like, Chris, I get it. But it's like kind of like Quick said, like, everybody has done that. Like, everybody's gotten their ideas about sex probably from the wrong places when they were younger. Like, that's not really an excuse. You're way older now. So, I mean, I get it, but like, come on. So anyway, but Chris said, you know, Valentine's Day, him and Monique, you know, they went out to eat, talked for a little bit, drinks was flowing. Next thing you know, the old Monique was on top of him, and he woke up 2 hours later, she was asleep on top of him. So I'm like, Chris, you just need to get Monique a little more liquored up, a little more often. That's all he got to do. But it's very interesting to me how, like, Chris always says the old Monique. Monique is always saying, oh, the Chris I used to know. I'm just like, what is this, like, you know, are they evolving? Like, what is really going on there? But I'm kind of tired of their drama anyway, so we're going to move on from that. So then, after all the couples expressed themselves, then Winter was like, I would like to add something, you know. I just got back from Mexico last week. So Ashley was like, did you have sex with a random man in Mexico? And Winter was like, no. And I was like, dang, like, boring. And so then she's like, no, I just wanted to say, like, you know, seeing you guys all here, sharing and being honest. And then Quick was like, you want a fun size candy? You want a fun size? And they already kept saying that before the session started. They were like, I want a fun size candy. You want a fun size candy? Give me a fun size Snickers. So they kept throwing those little subliminals at Winter. It actually wasn't subliminal, really, it was obvious. And so then they were like, they kept like taking like little funny jabs. And Chris was like, well, dang, let the girl get it out. So basically Winter gives this general apology. She's like, I did say some names about you guys, I was just, it wasn't that I'm like trying to say I hate you guys. I was just, making jokes, and seeing you guys be open and honest is so beautiful, and I'm sorry if I offended any of you. Ashley said her confession, she didn't like that little generic apology. It didn't mean nothing to her. She wasn't accepting of it. She said she felt like it was too blanketed. I can see how Ashley feels that way. Like, I was glad Winter made the speech and said something, but I can see how Ashley took it that way too. It was a little generic, but you gotta take what you can get sometimes, Ashley. So anyway, then we see the couples get ready for the dinner. Monica says she's having a crab boil. She has catered chef. Monica goes all out for her guests. Chris said they always have, they always make a big spread, throw the red carpet for people. They really do. So they're having a crab boil. Monique says she's not eating any of those bottom feeding, eating roaches, whatever she said. Basically, she's a vegan. She ain't eating all the crab and the shrimp and whatnot. I'll eat it for her. So, actually, that sounds amazing right now. I had oysters earlier, so what am I talking about? So, they sit down at the dinner, and before that scene, we see Irena pull Winter to the side, and she, says, I apologize too. So she reciprocated Winter's apology. And she said, I can understand you're going through a lot, and I said what you're going through. And when I asked you, are you okay? Like, I was trying to really check on you. I wasn't trying to be, shady. And Winter's like, yeah, it's not so much, mental, it's emotional. And so when Irene was like, oh, how was last time I talked to you? She's like, since July, and I got him blocked, so I don't even know. And she was like, what are you going to do? You see him? She's like, I don't know. I wish I would have brought my divorce papers because he needs to sign these papers. So, because y'all know Kevin is not trying to sign no divorce papers. So anyway, then, like I said, already went down to the table to eat. Then Monique gets real nosy and says, hey, well, Irena and Winter, what were you guys talking about? And I just feel like this was to create this whole big old mess of a scene. So anyway, excuse me, y'all. So then Raina was explaining how, she accepted Winter's apology and apologized to her back and all this stuff. And then Ashley was like, oh, I didn't accept that apology. I didn't think it was a good apology. It's very generic. I didn't like it. Winter was like, well, I thought we were cool. And then now I'm not understanding why we're not. I thought we squashed everything. Ashley was like, I did too, until you started calling my husband names. And I didn't like that. And I was like, at first I thought Ashley wasn't mad about that. This scene felt a little bit forced and annoying for me. Because I'm like, first of all, Ashley made it like she was the main one, not bothered by the whole DJ Fun Size thing. And I'm wondering, did it really bother her? Or, was she sitting on this? Like, what was really going on here? So basically, they start going back and forth. Monique just steady eating. She ain't really half paying attention. Raina said that, was saying, well, the apology was good enough for me, and I made amends in Winter, And so then Ashley was like, you're going to be doing this and that, and her and Winter was going back and forth, and Winter was like, I didn't mean it in any kind of way, and I did apologize, and she's like, well, we were both taking jabs, and then they was talking over each other. Then Ashley was saying, well, you were saying like you had all these information about my husband, all these rumors and all this stuff. And Winter's like, well, how do you not know? How do you not know? And then they're like, no, what? And then Ashley was like, what are you talking about? Like, no, what? See, like, what is it? What is it? And then Raina and her question was like, see, Winter's playing games because she's acting like she has some information about Quicken and she doesn't have anything. So even Tasha was getting mad, like, see, Winter, what you're doing right there is you're saying something that you have some information, but you're not saying what it is. And so then they're like going back and forth. And so then Chris, I think, got tired of it. He's like, well, I don't want to see y'all go back and forth. Like, y'all ain't got to be best friends, but y'all, I do want to see y'all try to get along, be friendly. And Raina was like, yeah, y'all ain't got to see each other. Ashley was like, well, we ain't got to see each other. Right? We are see each other right now. I'm looking at it right now. I'm going to be looking at it for the next 3 days. So I was cracking up about that part because Ashley just going to keep it real to the real. Okay, so then they were all kind of laughing about that. And then they kind of seemed like everything got squashed. That was a mess. So then the doorbell rings. Chris goes to get the door. Who do we have? Kevin. Kevin coming in with his briefcase full of paperwork, y'all. So, Kevin to me, y'all, I'm gonna just be honest. Okay. Kevin looked like he do drugs, allegedly. He looked like he been on the streets, living in his mama's basement for show, allegedly. Okay. He looks like everything. He looks like a scammer. Like, he looks like a hot mess. Like, I don't know what she saw physically in him, really. I don't see it. I don't see it. So, anyway, because he looks like he been through some things for show. So, he comes up to the table, and Winter's just like, oh, gosh. You can tell her whole expression changed. So then everybody's excited for this. And James like, you got some popcorn? And so they're like, oh. And then Ashley was like, I know that ain't who I think it is. And they're like, yeah, come sit down. Okay, come sit down. And they was like, would you bring your briefcase? What you do? And they was like, they were shooting so many questions at Kevin at once. It was funny, and then Chris was like, come on, man, come on, y'all. He's like, man, I wouldn't bring somebody here, to be made like a joke and all that. That's exactly why y'all brought Kevin and Winter there. It's to make this episode funny. This was the highlight of the episode, okay? So that's exactly why y'all brought Kevin and Winter there. Don't play with me, Chris. I don't care you from Alabama. So they're all, giving Chris 1,000 questions. Like, give him a chance, give him a chance. So they're giving Kevin 1,000 questions. So Kevin pulls out some papers. Ashley was like, is that a love letter you wrote to Winter? Because I'm dying to read it. And she was like, no, this is a book that Winter wrote about our relationship. And then Winter's like, no, that's the little pamphlet that we give out at the master classes. That the people in London, they transcribe everything we say in the conference. So then Kevin's like, well, no, it was an interview. We're sitting side by side. It wasn't a conference. Like, what are you talking about? So then they looking at the date on it. Monique was like, it says 2020. And every question. So Ashley was trying to ask, like, Kevin direct questions, but he was never saying yes or no. He was hushing her. Then he was like, let me show you 2 things. And I was just like, Kevin, please stop. Stop, Kevin. Stop. So then Kevin got all this paperwork. It's just looking a mess. It was just a mess, y'all. It was a mess. So anyway, they're asking him 1,000 questions. Him and Winter and Kevin are going back and forth about the facts. And Winter was like, I did not write this. And Kevin was trying to say that she wrote something saying that they couldn't get a divorce. And, excuse me, then he was trying to say things are this way, things are this way. She was like, no, I need you to sign these divorce papers. And she was like, I want to, I want to have a reconciliation with the man that told me he was an architect when I first met him and all this stuff. So basically she's saying that Kevin, when she first met, she wants the original Kevin, not this swindler Kevin. I'm like, girl, he was always a swindler. So anyway, Kevin was like, architect, like I would have never told you I was an architect. Winter was like, this guy helped this man, like he don't even remember that he told me he was an architect. So Kevin's like, I would have never said that. I'm like, oh my gosh. So they Ashley and Quick get tired of all the bull, so they left. Then Jamie and Raina and like Ashley and Quick went downstairs. They're like, you know what? They just feel sorry for Winter at this point. Like they ain't like her like that, but they felt sorry for her. Jamie and Raina left. They came downstairs. Ashley was like, oh, you forgive her. And Raina's like, I don't give a F. She was like, girl, this is too much. Like they ain't got time for this. It's too much. So then back up at the table upstairs or downstairs, wherever the way the thing was. I think it was downstairs. So, Chris was like, should we leave? Should we leave? And Winter's like, no, we need witnesses because this man lies. So then when Winter was saying something about she wanted to reconcile with the original man she fell in love with, Kevin gets up. He's like, oh, I heard the word reconciliation. So then he goes to try to sit by Winter. Winter was like, you need to stay over there. I do not trust you. I do not want you nowhere near. I mean, Winter started going off. Y'all, Winter started going off. She was like, no, you do not need to sit by me. You do not. Da, 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 da. So she was going off. So then she's like, no, what you need to do, you need to sign these divorce papers. You need to sign these divorce papers. So then Ashley was like, you know what, let me go back upstairs. I want to be nosy. Let me go see what I can hear. They're like, yeah, go up there and listen. So then Winter's going off on Kevin. She's like, no, you need to be signing these divorce papers. Like, I'm through with you. It's over. So then she starts singing a song. She's like, you need to sign these divorce papers. I'm probably off the melody they was on, but she made, like, Winter had a nice little choir voice, though. She really did. So she was singing and clapping. Ashley was bringing her backup choir. I think Monique was kind of making a beat on the table. And she was, like, singing. Eventually, she was next to Chris singing in his damn ear. You can tell he was irritated. So everything Kevin kept trying to say, she just was singing. Eventually, Kevin was just sitting there quiet. Monique was like, okay, like, what are you going to do? Like, this is too much. And so then Winter's like, get this man a pen. And she left. So then her and Ashley meet up in the hallway. Because Ashley called her out. And she was like, girl, like, I'm sorry you're going through this. It's too much. And Winter was like, yeah, I didn't even know we had a problem, Ashley. I thought we squashed everything. So they kind of talked it out. And Winter was like, I'm about positivity and the power, women's empowerment and all this stuff. And Ashley's like, I didn't get that side of you. And Winter was like, yeah, I feel bad for that. Like, I guess everything I was going through, I didn't realize who I was becoming and how I was. And she's like, I do thank you for, being my backup choir. She's like, it don't matter. Like, I can love you, hate you, whatever. Like, I could tell that man was wrong and was off. Like, I'm going to have your back anyway. And she was like, now, I don't know how you didn't see it from the beginning. She's like, because I'm only meeting this man an hour. I could tell something's not right. Like, he's a scammer. And Winter was like, yeah, I don't know, but it was just too much. So then Monique, back up at the table, Monique was like, okay, Kevin, like, you came with these papers. We don't do this back and forth. Like, what are you going to do moving forward? Chris is asking the same thing. So Monique goes to check on Winter, and Monique was like, I couldn't take it no more, girl. He all them papers, like, girl, it was too much. And so then Urena came in with the microphone, and they were like, how the song go again? So they started singing it again and did the whole song. I was cracking up because that was too funny. Okay, so looks like Winter and Ashley made up. Hopefully Monique don't drum it all back up again. And hopefully everybody can move on. Hopefully Urena and Winter can continue to move forward as well. Kevin, Chris was walking him back upstairs so he could leave, and he was like, I just wanted, I haven't got to speak on this in 9 months, and I just wanted to come here and give my piece, and so I just thank you for the opportunity to do so. Chris, like, of course, man, of course. I'm like, Chris, you better be careful. Don't let that man swindle you, okay? Because he gonna be using Chris. Next thing we know, it's scamming him. Like, no, that was a hot mess. Like, no. So anyway, that was pretty much it, y'all. The episode, like I said, it was good. The best part was the whole Kevin and Winter drama, like I said, and hearing the sex issues in the marriages. Next week looks like it's going to be interesting as well. All right, y'all like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.